Welcome back, everybody. We're having a great show today. Thank you for joining us. We're talking a little bit behind the scenes about each of us and about our journey here together with the Christian View. And I just want to give, the Bible says give honor where honor is due. And I want to give honor to you, Miss Jackie, because we wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for you, and that God has used you in such a great way. And you're one of the most inspirational women I have ever met. And one of my favorite things to do is pray on the phone with you.
Oh, I love that.
You're a great prayer warrior.
And it's amazing how it takes a tragedy to get us to this point, isn't it?
True.
A tragedy. If I had not gone through a tragedy in my life, I wouldn't be here. Somebody else would be doing it, not me, because I never saw myself on television either. And I never saw myself speaking in front of people. I never saw myself writing a book or 2 books or making a movie or hosting I never saw myself in any of that.
It's amazing.
But when you are flat on your back and you in a tragedy, and if God don't intervene, and when He does, and He clears it all up, well, then you're indebted for the rest of your life.
And then you also feel that power, because I've been there, not in the same situation, but a similar situation. And when God just rescues you out of that situation,
forever you serve
you know it's Him.
Yes, you
just
do.
You know His presence is there, and you think, okay, well, if He's there, then He's there always.
Always.
And it's just more of a reality, and it empowers you to be able to move forward and do the things that He's calling you to do.
Yeah. What brought you to Christ, Ann?
Oh, wow. I was 19 years old, and I was selling insurance because I was a wild child. I mean, honestly, my kids don't even know some of the crazy, silly things that I did. But I was riding with a partner that day selling insurance. We were knocking on doors. I sold insurance at 19 years old because I went to college at university. I went to the university here in Georgia State.
Yeah.
And when I went, I just said, this is just not for me. School is not for me. My dad was in sales. I'll get into sales. So I joined an insurance sales agency, was out with a partner that day. We were knocking on doors selling Medicare supplement policies. And as we're driving down the road, the gentleman I was working with was a little older, and he said, do you know that if you died today that you would go to heaven? There's the awesome question. I mean, it's as simple, guys, as a question. And I grew up in church, going in and out of church. And, I did got sprinkled when I was a kid. I thought, hey, I'm a Christian. Sure, I believe. But Lord, was I so wrong. So, and I said, yeah, I think I am. I mean, I'm a good person. I've done some really stupid things.
The head thing going on.
Right. But anyway, so he said, well, you know that you can know. And so then we proceeded to discuss some more. I confessed my sin. I knew that I was not living the kind of life I needed to be living. And it still took me a while to get out of that stage. But yeah, so it was 19 years old, and just kind of took me a while to grow. And God, I thank God for that moment that He asked me that question.
I think all of us, from what we've been talking about, have had some wild testimonies. Just and look what God has done with our stories. It's amazing that we're all sitting here from the backgrounds that we've come.
I really have to say, I am very grateful to Jackie and our producer, Stacy. I love being able to live my passion. And we were talking about passions earlier. Mine is the arts and entertainment. But being able to glorify God with it, is everything to me. And everything about me, people who know me, my whole family is involved. My children, my husband, we're all, we really are involved in the entertainment industry. But, to be able to do it to the glory and honor of God is what's so awesome about it. And this is something I set out for when I was young. She asked me earlier, Donna was like, did you ever do anything wrong? I was like, no, I was a goody two-shoes. We all have made mistakes. I'm not talking about
Becky's the one that was just born saved.
Well, you're so right. And just that opportunity to be able to be a spokesperson, because I just remember one time I was going through a real crisis, and it's probably been 10, 15 years ago. And I was just kind of curled up on the floor, just crying, literally. And opened my Bible. I opened it to Jeremiah. I think it was 18:18, somewhere in there. And God just told me, I'll protect you, and I'll lift you up, and I will allow you to be my spokesperson. And at that point in time, I had no clue what He was talking about. But I did say that. And for years, I would say, God, I just want to profess you publicly. I want to have the confidence. And that was, like I said, I was insecure. I want to have the confidence.
But don't tell Him that if you don't mean it.
Right.
But he brings us to that place, and how you were talking, like all of our lives, we've gone through areas where we've been broken, but the Word does tell us He gives us the beauty for our ashes. And it was amazing to me how my journey really started when a lot of seemingly familiar doors were closing, but then God opened all these new doors and new avenues. And
Right.
I found myself, like you say, living my passion, getting back into the modeling, getting back into the acting, getting back, you know, doing billboards. I'm on billboards around town, ATM
That's
billboards,
awesome.
and people walk up to you in the store and they say, "You look familiar," and I just smile and say, "Probably saw me on one of those ATMs when you get your money back."
You know, one thing is that God brings everything full circle, I
Yes,
think, in
He
our
does.
life. And, you know, back when I was at ORU, people would say to me when I was in communications, you should do TV. You know,
Wow.
that's something that maybe you would be gifted in doing. And 30 years later, you know, the opportunity comes through you. So,
But you also wrote a very good book.
I did. I
The
wrote a book
Marvelous
called-
Madness of Motherhood.
Yeah, The Marvelous Madness of Motherhood. I wrote that back when my little boy, not the one who's here, but Hamilton, the middle one, was 2, and he would stand in the middle of the table and dump out all the salt and the pepper and, you know, just the madness of motherhood. Elisa, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah.
Our show has been picked up by Parable Network
Yeah.
and
Sky Angel.
Sky Angel, and
a
we're in
miracle.
around 21 million homes, and I don't think people know that. And the fact that we get to sit here and tell people about God and His Word into 21 million homes, I just stand amazed. I'm like, I'm 58 years old, and I'm thinking He had to wait this long to get me ready to share
Well,
that,
you're
with
right
that
about
big of an
getting
audience.
ready. You know, and I think about that, Dawn, because when I got saved, I didn't live right. I mean, I just, and I don't want to think, you know, some people have a miraculous conversion, and I wish to God I had have. It would have saved me a lot of heartaches for about 20 years. But it really took me 20 years, it's sad to say, to really grow spiritually
Perfect your
strong
walk,
enough to really get the confidence to transform who I was and to stand up and say, no, I'm going to say no to those things that Satan's trying to tempt me with. I'm finally going to say no because now I'm confident enough to do so.
And that you would be willing to address that. I think we need more people to be more transparent
They gotta get
and
real,
tell
Lee.
other
Time to
people
get
that
real.
we did make mistakes in our walk. We're not perfect. And
Even as
you-
being saved.
Yes, most definitely.
Right.
And the transformation, I think, comes in the Word. The more you're in the Word,
Oh,
the more
yes.
you're
Yes.
it just
Staying in
changes
that Word,
you.
yes, yes.
It just
Thank you
makes
so
a
much
difference.
for joining us.